Marriage Interrupted.
Marriage and ADHD.
I'm Felicia Horton.
I'm Jonathan Horton.
And we are not professionals. We're just an older married couple who learned that Jonathan has ADHD a little later in life. And here we are.
Go figure.
Go figure. The answer to our prayers? Not. But definitely put us down a better path. Saved our marriage. But we're not professionals. We're just here to share. We're not so far professionals, or not so far. It saved us.
Saved our marriage so far.
So far. Anyway, so we're just here in hopes that we can help others who might be struggling or unsure of what's going on in their marriage and why, and hopefully we're here to help or entertain or just spend time
entertaining for
fully
me.
Dressed on our bed. So it is so easy to harp and focus on all the yuck that ADHD brings, and unfortunately society sees it that way often, that the people with ADHD have a problem, that they're different. And I've said this multiple times, and I may not live to see if this is true or not, but right now the percentage of those that have ADHD is very small on the records. I think it's about 50-50. I think at one point we're going to realize that people, there's about 50% of the population is actually born with a smaller prefrontal cortex, and that their dopamine release and all the ADHD stuff is not unique. It is actually just as normal. Our society just hasn't adapted and accepted, and we feel like one is better than the other, and the other is a problem or a mental illness or disease or whatever people decide they want to label it. I don't believe it's any of that. And the reason for it is the ADHD superpowers.
Superpowers. I can leap tall buildings.
Where's your cape? So in my eyes, the superpowers are things that I envy so much. So no, Jonathan's not great at organization, and he's not great at getting things done immediately. But when Jonathan is interested and Jonathan wants to get something done, amazing. We talk about this all the time.
That's my superpower.
It's one of, you have a lot. One of the things I am amazed at all the time is Jonathan did not like school, didn't do well in school, kind of didn't pay attention in school, and he is really, really smart. So when it came time in life in his career, he needed certifications, he would study, and he'd have to study a long time, and he'd have to read things over a lot and review things a lot. But when it came time for any one of those tests,
knocked it out of the park.
He knocked him out of the park every time. He would say to me, I'm a little concerned. The percentage of people who pass this test on the first time is very small, so I'd be worried for him. And then he'd come back with, yeah, passed. What's your score? I don't know, but I had to get better than 80 and I got it first try. Or he'd say, oh, in a couple weeks I'll get the results, and the results will come in, and he'd have passed high ranks, high scores. So how do you do that?
I don't know, because I have really bad short-term memory. I can meet you. Hi, Felicia. I'm Jonathan. 10 minutes later, oh, what was her name again? Not you in particular. I remember your name.
That's good.
Because right. That was long-term memory.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you're stuck with me. You're reminded.
I remember things better that happened 10 years ago than what you told me last week.
But when it comes to this, so
why is that?
So when is that your hyperfocus? Is that because you really want it? It's really important to you. Remembering, Ken's name or Sarah's name, is that as important to you as passing the test? I mean, Jonathan.
It's frustrating to me that I'll meet somebody and 5 minutes later, wait, what did she say her name was?
So Jonathan has passed.
What was her phone number?
The general contractor's license test. He aced it. Playground inspector, he aced that. Dock inspector, dock walker, that you aced.
Oh, it's fun, because it's fun. They're fun.
Your OSHA ace. Like every time right, it's fun. he loves those things. Now, if someone said, "You want to be playground inspected?" I'd be like, "Inspector, you want to be certified?" And then I'm like, "No," but he loves the details involved. He loves when we take the grandkids to a playground, he can point out all the things that are right or wrong or need changing. Who does that, right? But I think it's a superpower that you are able to do that. I think it's amazing. But you do it.
Can I get that in writing?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the things I'm happy to boast about.
So let that boil over into the part that you don't like, and then it will kind of even itself
It's none that
out.
I don't like. It's none that I don't like. It's working. It's how to navigate through it. But that's just one superpower.
I have more.
You do.
What's my other superpower?
So many. I'm amazed because Jonathan will say, "I'm horrible at math." And I'll say, "What's 9 times 9?" And you're like, "I don't know what's 9 times 9. But you put Jonathan in someone will say, "I need a bathroom remodel." And he'll go in the bathroom and they'll say, "Well, I want this tile on this and I want this on the trim." And he'll go, "Oh, you need 4x4 tiles. You'll need 2 boxes of 4x4 because this is and this room size is this by this. And then those tiles are," and he'll go, "Okay, so you need 5 boxes of this and 2 boxes of that." And you'll be right. And I'm like, "How did you do that?"
That's just
math?
knowing what the square footage per box is.
Right? But ask him a multiplication simple question. But the big
That's what calculators are for.
But you don't use the calculator when you're standing there. He just boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, how do you do that? But you can't get the, 7 times 5 real quick. So
35.
good. So I'm in awe over how you can look at a space and calculate.
That's what I do.
But why can you do that and not the other focus things? I think it's a superpower. I think it's amazing when someone can do that.
And what other superpowers I have, as long as we're talking about it.
Oh, wow. There's a whole list of them. So, superpowers. The memory, the construction part. Yes, that's what you do. But Jonathan has never been one to work off of plans very well. Plans aren't your thing. You know plans. You can go off of plans when they're given to you in a big project. But when you did Sharon's deck, Sharon goes, "This is what I want." And he goes, "Well, we can do this and this and this." And in his head, he knew exactly what he needed to do. And as we were doing it, he goes, "You know what? As long as we're here, do you want to upgrade this and do this there?" And she goes, "Yeah, I would love to." And to this day, she says, that deck, first of all, it's beautiful. It's got detail that we didn't think of until we got to that point. But she always says the deck will stand longer than the house.
It's a nice deck.
How do you see that though as you're going? How do you take that space and know what you need to do without it pre-written and pre-planned?
I can see it in my mind. I can see a finished product.
They say that people with ADHD are very good at patterns.
Yeah, I would say myself that that's one of the benefits of, if it's ADHD or not, it's just I can look at a project and see the completion of it. I can picture it in my mind and how to get there.
And you do. You get there beautifully. So what do you think some of your...
But the road getting there sometimes goes like this. But I'm getting there.
So
it's all like finding all the pieces of the puzzle and putting them together.
So that leads me to the other, I think, is a superpower. Jonathan fixes my car all the time. We've had some problems with our cars, and he watches a YouTube video and then takes apart an engine and puts it back together.
I wouldn't know how to do some of the things I've done lately without YouTube. YouTube, awesome.
What? But you watch a video once and then you're the mechanic.
Yeah.
So. No. So when I do what I'm doing in our world right now, with the videos and the editing and all the things, I don't know what I'm doing. So what I do is I have my computer and I have my phone right next to me, and sometimes I have 2 computers. I'll use my work computer next to it. and I watch the video and I have to pause it and I have to do what I need to and pause it. I can't learn by watching one time and just going to do it. I have to break things down. I have to learn piece by piece. I have to go back and remind myself what to do. You watch a video one time on how to take apart I don't know parts of a car, but you take things apart and then you put it back after watching the video one time. And then go to the auto shop and say, I need blah, 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 with measurements. And then these things have these codes like, oh, I need the sizes of 5.62, whatever. And then you know that. You don't have to write it down. You just watch it. You look at the car, you go in and you do it. You can't remember what time to come home. You can't remember what to pick up at the grocery store. But you can...
I can remember what time to come home. It just, sometimes it gets stretched out.
What about the grocery store shopping?
I love grocery store shopping.
But do you remember what you need to get? Do you ever come home?
That's what you're for.
I have a purpose.
Can you please text me a list of what I need from the store?
And still sometimes we hiccup. So that's why I'm in awe. I'm in awe that you can do these things, right? The most complex things in my mind, because I don't think that way. But then the simpler things are truly a struggle. Like, seriously, remembering that you put your tea on the back of the truck. Or what was it the other day you left? And, we went somewhere and he didn't have he has a little butt pack with his stuff. And he forgot that whole thing. So he didn't have his license. He didn't have any of his money, his cards.
I just wanted you to pay.
I wasn't with you that day. You left it at home and called.
See, I forgot you too.
Right? You forgot me. Anyway, so I think that those with ADHD, more often than not, are just
different. We're different
in a great way for all the things that we can say. Oh, ADHD puts you in that box because you just can't cope and you can't remember and you can't. But the things that you do, I think, are just excel the average person.
Can I get that in writing too?
You don't need it in writing because I'm so willing to say I think it's awesome and I appreciate it and I am grateful.
Can I use it as a get out of jail free card? So when you are mad at me for something, say, yeah, but remember I have all these superpowers.
No. Doesn't take away. We still have to pay our taxes and we have to pay our bills and we need to eat and all that other good stuff. But I'm just
we talked about that. You hired somebody to do our taxes this year.
But the truth of you have both, but you have to balance. We still have to balance.
I have pretty good balance, actually.
Oh my gosh, you'd fall over on one leg. That is not one of your superpowers.
What, balance?
Balance. I am Felicia Horton.
I'm Jonathan Horton.
Marriage Interrupted. Thanks for
Sorry
joining.
if we bothered your morning, but thank you for listening.
It might be afternoon for them. It might be evening. That's why we don't say good morning.
I'm telling you right now, it's daylight savings time. It's weird.
Okay. But again, in 2 years from now, on May 10th, when somebody watches
daylight savings time will still be weird.
But when they're watching, it may not be that. This is supposed to last a lifetime that they could see any day, and it doesn't matter because it's all relevant.
Our one listener is...
We have more than one. We're up to at least a dozen. Yeah, it's all family. We'll get the rest of the family to join too. Anyways, thank you all so much for being here.
It's family. I love you all. Have a great day. Peace out.